Hey guys, what is up? Ryan here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC Prep. Today we're doing another PDL League. I did that again. PDL battle. This one is against Tipster Jones. We've actually battled him quite a few times on this channel already, and it's always a good battle. So his full team was Amoongus, Latios, Blaziken, Mega, Manectric, Mega, Azumarill, and Talonflame. So immediately I realized that with my 5, or 6 rather, and you know, my team in general, I don't have really much for Azumarill, so I was expecting to see that Azumarill, because that Azumarill could easily run circles around my team. I mean, yeah, a lot of my team's slower, so if I get Trick Room up, and he can't really one-shot me and really anything until he gets Belly Drum, but once he could Belly Drum the first turn while I get Trick Room up. So basically, like, Azumarill's a huge threat to my team. So I was looking at his team, and I was trying to figure out, you know, my best way. I figured my best bet first turn would be to start off with Mesprit and Dragalge. Dragalge has really good coverage for his entire team. It has pretty much everything, something for everything but Blaziken, and even Blaziken doesn't really want to take a Sludge Bomb or a Draco Meteor, especially since I made this Dragalge a lot more offensive for this battle. So yeah, there was that. So I figured those were my best bet. You know, Mesprit would give me the best chance of getting Trick Room up. He did have a lot of things that I could very easily set up with Aromatisse. In fact, Aromatisse might be a better option, but it was that Amoongus that kind of pushed me towards Mesprit. And I brought Pangoro and Electros in the back because he had a lot of things to hit my Mawile super effectively and kind of just take it out. So I had no choice. I really had it. I couldn't bring Mawile this turn. So he actually starts off with Manectric and Amoongus, and I think that's actually a pretty solid choice for me. I'm not going to go for Trick Room this first turn because I'm figuring the Amoongus is actually going to be slower than my Dragalge, which is a bit of a mistake, because unfortunately Dragalge is a tad bit slower than this specific Amoongus. It's going to be about, like, I don't know. I want to say it's somewhere between 3 and 4 points slower than this Amoongus because I compared it to the speed stats of the rest of my team, and I realized that it really is. So I go for a Psychic here, and that's going to take it almost down, and I did go for a Sludge Bomb on the Amoongus, hoping to outspeed and take it out. Unfortunately, I do get put to sleep, but now that we've seen the Latios, the Amoongus, and the Manectric, I'm kind of realizing that if I can get Trick Room up, Dragalge is going to be my win condition. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take out my Dragalge here and really hope that he doesn't have the Azumarill, because that will be an issue. So I switch out my Dragalge here for Pangoro, fully expecting a Psychic or a Psyshock onto the Pangoro. He actually reveals the Shadow Ball, and it does a lot of damage, and that's because this thing is Life Orb. And I had gone for Psychic on the Amoongus because Sleep is going to be an issue for my team. I do quite a lot against this Talonflame, and I do actually change this Pangoro up to have Quick Guard for this battle, specifically for Talonflame. Now, I took a bit of a chance here. I was really hoping that the Latios would predict a switch out and maybe attack into the Pangoro. So I went for Trick Room that turn, and unfortunately it didn't really work out for me, but I'm not in a bad position right now, because basically I can spam Quick Guard and kind of fake him out, because he's going to have, you know, you look at the 2 Pokemon that I have on the field right now, and they put a lot of pressure on my opponent, and he basically has to take them both out before I can attack, because both of my Pokemon can take both of his Pokemon out if he can't take me out. Now, he did miss a Draco Meteor, and I'm not too certain. Well, it probably did matter, actually. Draco Meteor's stab is base 120 and Life Orb. So yeah, that definitely mattered, and it's very unfortunate that he missed it. Although we have survived really powerful moves before with this Electros, so I don't know. I went for Quick Guard yet again, mainly because I wanted to make sure that this Talonflame did not take me out. Now, he does Spore into my Electros, but the cool thing about this Electros is it's running Lumberry. I'm at -1, but I did go for Fire Punch on the Amoongus, hoping that it would take it out. I didn't expect the Manectric to come in, and as you can tell, I just punched the mic. That probably sounded terrible. As you can tell, it didn't go for Brave Bird. So in comes the Manectric, and it does go for Thunderbolt. It does get a crit, and it does do a lot. I doubled into the Amoonguss here because I figured the Manectric cannot take out any one of my Pokemon in one shot. So my best bet is to go for the Crunch and the Fire, or I went for Knockoff just in case he wants to switch into the Talonflame into that. And obviously Knockoff isn't going to do very much, so it's not going to be that great. I go for Quick Guard again. I'd rather play safe than sorry. And unfortunately, he did actually go for the oops, not Brave Bird attack. But it is going to be Flare Blitz, and what you'll notice is if the Draco Meteor hit me, I would have died here. But even though this thing is banded, which, by the way, we figured out from... Well, we won't figure that out yet. I knew that because I just had the battle, but you'll realize that this Talonflame is banded. You could kind of infer it from the fact that he had to switch out against the Pangoro when I was going for Quick Guard, so it's kind of a toss-up here. So obviously my Electros is going to go down here. There's no reason for him to attack my Dragalge whatsoever. I'm asleep. Can't really touch me. Even with HP Ice, it's probably not even going to be a 3-hit KO. And as you can see, my Sludge Bomb is more than enough to take him out. So taking out the Electros was his best bet. In addition, because it also drops my differential. So it's only a 1-0 for me as opposed to a 2-0. So that was that battle. Now going into the second battle, I was thinking of changing up my lead. Dragalge was good, but, if he starts off with the Latios, it's not really a good lead, because I don't have Protect on this Dragalge. It's fully offensive, but it has 4 attacks instead of Protect, and that's because I wanted the coverage. And I can't take a Psyshock. I probably can take a Psychic, but, you know, obviously there's going to be 2 Pokemon on the field, so I can't risk it. And plus, with the last battle, we found out that the Amoonguss is actually slower than my Pangoro. My Pangoro has about 56 speed, my Dragalge has about 49. So the Amoonguss sits somewhere in between there. So, if the Amoonguss decides to want to start off, I can take it out in one shot, because we do know that the Mesprit cannot one-shot the Amoonguss. So, that was the thought process, and the Electros and the Dragalge, I figured were pretty solid for me, so I kept them in the back as well. So we'll see here what he starts off with. It's going to be the Talonflame and the Latios, which is not a good lead for me at all. Now, I was predicting him to predict me to go for Quick Guard, and, you know, sometimes you really should not go with an intense prediction. I was right, okay? For starters, I was right. But I was thinking he might not double into my Pangoro here, because I'll get Trick Room up. And unfortunately, he does, and it's not good for me whatsoever, because I'm obviously not going to survive that. But on the flip side, I do get Trick Room up, so there's always that. Wait, did I? Yeah, I did, okay. There's always that positive. I'd rather have the Pangoro alive, because what I did is I went for Crunch onto the Latios, and as you remember from the previous battle, Dragalge is pretty much the win condition against this team, especially since he keeps bringing the same Pokemon, and they can't really touch Dragalge. So once I get rid of the Latios, I can pretty much skate through with Dragalge. Now, Choice Banded Brave Bird probably can take me out, but I have support for that, so it's you know, it's kind of a toss-up. So I went for Knockoff onto the Latios, not only because it's super effective against the Latios, not only because it's probably going to take it out, although we're at -1 now, because he might switch out, you never know. So he actually Thunderbolts me, and I get lucky by getting paralyzed, because now, his Amoonguss can't Spore me. It can't anyway, because I have safety goggles. I'm going to be able to take out the Amoonguss a lot quicker now, because both my Electros and my Mesprit outspeed it. I ended up not attacking the Amoonguss that turn because he knows I'm Lumberry, and I figured that since he knows I'm Lumberry, he's not going to attack me there. So my best bet was just to get some damage off the Manectric, try and take it out as quickly as I can. In comes the Talonflame, and I kind of made a bad play here. I went for Psychic on the Manectric and a knockoff on the Talonflame. I figured the Amoonguss would switch out because I can 100% take it out. But the issue with that is that Psychic was the stronger move, because I am negative. So Psychic, in addition to the recoil that this Talonflame just did to itself, probably would have taken it out. So that's a little unfortunate, and it was a bit of a misplay. But I ended up just wild charging here, which again really did cost me a bit because that recoil will stack. This Manectric will be able to do a lot of damage to me, and it's just not good at all. So he's going to Volt Switch. It doesn't really do too much because it is Volt Switch, and I do resist it. I am max HP. Electros is awesome, guys. I really love Electros. And in comes Latios, and of course, you know, Trick Room goes out. I actually did not see that message. Didn't really matter. But what I do is I bring in my Dragalge. I can ignore the Manectric because Manectric can't one-shot either of the two Pokemon I have on the field. So I'm just going to knock off and Shadow Ball into the Latios. That's really my best play. As you can see, he really can't take me out, but the Psyshock does get revealed here. And that's literally just a one-shot. I mean, my defense is atrocious. So that does one-shot me, and I pretty much am gone. You know, there's not much I can do about it. I do go for the knockoff, and even at -1, it's actually, I'm at -2. It still does a good chunk, and that just kind of goes to show you that, like, Latios' defenses are really not great. Because I'm at -2. I'm pretty damn sure I'm at -2. I might be at -1, but either way, it's not stab. It's only, like, no, it's a pretty high base power. So either way, you know, I think the turn where I didn't Psychic the Talonflame is kind of sort of where I faltered a bit. Oh, I just played that battle again. Sorry about that. Let me quickly, come on. Can I just be out of this? No, I can't. Alright, we're just gonna see the intro real quick again, because that happens. I'm just gonna leave this in. I don't really care. It doesn't really affect anything. Alright, so this is the third battle. Now, I'm thinking, okay. At this point, Electros isn't really doing very much for us. We can't just spam Wild Charge because he does have the Manectric. We can pretty much just assume he's not going to be bringing the Azumarill or the Blaziken, because we haven't seen it, and I don't think he will. So I decided to start off with Mawile and Mesprit, basically because I'm expecting either the Latios or the Talonflame to lead off with. This way I can get a Intimidate on the Talonflame, and then he can't really do anything to that combo. So that's what I do, and I bring Dragalge and Pangoro in the back, because again, Dragalge is basically the win condition. If I can get rid of the Latios, I can win with Dragalge. So, this is what I start off with. I start off with Mawile and Mesprit, and I'm trying to figure out my best strategy here. I checked my speed. My speed is faster, I think, than the Amoonguss. So I'm thinking, okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Protect, because he's either going to Spore me, or I don't really know. I didn't actually expect the Flare Blitz. I kind of expected a U-turn onto the Mesprit. But I just go for the Psychic onto the Amoonguss, and he actually finally finds out that I'm Safety Goggles, because he decided to go for the Flare Blitz on the Mawile to take me out, and I calced it, Flare Blitz at my investment will take me out. So I bring in Dragalge, really hoping I can take this a lot better than I think I will. He goes for Rage Powder, which isn't really a big deal because I obviously do switch out. And Flare Blitz does literally nothing. It's not that great. I'm glad it didn't do that much. And I finally get the Psychic off on the Amoonguss, and this is important because now my Pokemon are basically slower than the Amoonguss, and, well, actually only Dragalge is, but I don't want Dragalge sleeping, you know? So in comes the Latios, and I'm kind of like, should I just predict that he's not going to go for me? Basically, my thought process here is I either Draco Meteor and take out the Latios, which is great, or, and I lose my Mesprit, or I lose the Dragalge and get Trick Room up, and I actually end up getting Trick Room up, and the reason why that's actually a little bit better for me is because now we know he's banded at this point, in the set. We know he's banded, so he's 100% locked into Flare Blitz. So I can safely bring in Pangoro, go for that crunch on Latios, and I can just Thunderbolt the Talonflame, kind of forgetting that there's a Manectric in the field. So I do go for the crunch, and it's just going to take this out. There's no way it's surviving. So it's just gone. I love, it's just gone. And I go for Thunderbolt. I do give it the Lightning Rod, but remember, we are still in Trick Room, so it's not the end of the world just yet. In comes Talonflame, and I'm thinking, is he going to Brave Bird? Is he going to do that? What is he going to do? I don't know. I was a little afraid to go for Thunderbolt because while he has to Mega Evolve if he wants to win the battle, he could delay it another turn because he's safe to do that. I have no way of one-shotting this Manectric, so he's safe to save it one turn. So even though I'm at -1, I decide my best bet right now is to actually just Hammer Arm the Manectric and try and take it out. I may be at -1, but I'm Iron Fist, and Hammer Arm is Stab, base 120. And I decided to Psychic the Talonflame. But as you can see, this thing is running Fly. And Fly is a really, really excellent idea for my team. Why? Well, think about it for this. Trick Room, I'm very obviously Trick Room. It stalls out one turn. It always goes before, because it's priority, and as you can see, I don't really have priority on this team. So it just stalls out Trick Room, makes it work out, you know, basically that. So I had attacked the Manectric there that turn because he was at +1. We know he has Flamethrower, and I have Mawile in the back. And so, like, we know he's banded, so he can't switch to Flare Blitz. I didn't knock him off, so he can't switch out. And I have Rock Slide on Mawile, so Talonflame's not a problem at this point. You know, I am going to lose some points on differential because of this battle. However, I win. So, either way, it's kind of funny because I love this battle. There was a little bit of hacks, but it was a very good set, in my opinion. We both played really well, and it was just, I found it very enjoyable. But the funny part about this is because he won the game 2 0-3, I actually lost differential on this battle. Instead of getting +1 or +0 or anything, I actually got -1. It's just kind of awesome how that worked out. So that is the battle, guys. My voice just cracked. I don't know why it did that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys at the next episode. Peace. I'm gonna go to Queequeg. We're gonna switch over to our Penguin Lobber. Where is... Okay, Henry's right there. Alright, and we're...